What's up, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by the man with the picks himself, Pez. What's going on?
We're hot, Jeff. 8 straight winners. We're locked in, as the kids are saying these days, on the NBA, and I can't believe the lines, Jeff, have been so off in this second round. I don't know what's going on with the NBA. Multiple 7 to 10 point dog outright winners, and that just shouldn't be happening. I think the league and maybe the sports books aren't jiving together. I think the league alerted the players. This is going to be a different type of playoffs. We went back like 15 years. The physical play and the half court offense has returned, and it's a whole different dynamic than it was in the regular season. So it's been great. It's been an exciting playoffs. We're happy about it.
And like you said, we're on a little bit of a heater for the NBA. Not too bad in MLB. We're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about the Preakness and the second major of the 2025 calendar year with the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow to finish up the show. But let's stick with the NBA. You teased that. We are red hot right now in the NBA. And let me ask you this. You said the lines are off. Hey, thank you very much, Sportsbook. But what's going on with the algorithm? How are you adjusting so that you're having such success in the playoffs that you really didn't have during the regular season?
Regular season was a survival, and there was no consistency. When you don't have a half court offense, when the NBA, when the style of play has no half court offense, it's almost illogical to be betting on some of those games. You have no idea what's going to happen. And in the playoffs, it's been entirely different. You can have data-based system. You can look at size of players and physical play. Last night, Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, finished the game with 9 assists. Jeff, you can't win in the NBA with 9 assists. That's not playing a half-court offense when there's physical play. They're allowing guys to D up. So we've taken it back to the way we bet 10, 15 years ago, where the physical, better defensive team was going to win these games. And I don't know. I don't think the books have kept up with it. I don't think they care, Jeff. I think they're making so much money on parlays and on exotic bets. I don't think they scrutinize it as much, and we're taking advantage of that. Last night, I believe we got 8.5 for Indiana. They ended up winning the game outright by 9. I don't know where Cleveland's. I don't know where the odds came from. They were banged up. The offense stunk against this team, and I think the Knicks have been underrated in that same situation. And unfortunately, with Tatum, that's changed everything with basketball and betting on that series. But Denver, Oklahoma City, we're seeing the same thing. I think people underrated Denver. They're in the hole a little bit now, but physical team can play half court offense, can vary their play, and we're looking to bet on teams like that, especially getting big time points.
Well, let me ask you about the Tatum injury. Does that have you say like, because that series is not over, correct?
There's a game tonight, and we're taping on Wednesday. Believe it or not, Jeff, Boston's laying 5 tonight, right? So I watched that Tatum injury. I was in a little text chain with a bunch of old gamblers, and everybody. That's a horrible thing, right? And I believe that changes NBA basketball. Tatum, at least to a year and a half out, a player that was, borderline top 5 in the league, coming on, 27 years old. That organization is done, right? This nucleus of this team is done. I think that opens up the entire NBA. I don't think the Celtics are ever going to be what they were with Tatum. Very difficult to come back. You don't want to talk bad about a guy just hurt, but that's a death blow to the NBA, and I feel horrible about it. But in that same situation, I would not bet the Knicks tonight getting 5. I think Boston could win outright, and that we're going to lay off of that game. That's a weird thing when a star goes down. Sometimes it affects the other team, the opposing team, more. Too many dimensions, too many unknowns in that game. We're just going to stick to teams we're going to bet on that are 100% normal situations, and that's kind of old school gambling is really what we're back to.
All right. Any other leans that you have in the NBA before we leave NBA and go to MLB?
I mean, I would lean Boston tonight, getting 5. This is Wednesday. Golden State, Minnesota, another injury, Curry going down. Very tough to call these games when you've got such a significant guy out. You still win in those situations. But Thursday, we're going to be leaning Denver. In Oklahoma City, it's very difficult to bet against. That team's dynamite. I think, maybe the best player in the league with Gilgeous-Alexander. That guy makes his own shots. But getting 4.5, Denver at home with the season on the line, that's probably a game we're taking tomorrow night. Home court means a lot. I think Jokic is too good of a player to be given the amount of points they're giving him, and we've been hitting on that team left and right. I would keep doing it.
All right, so let's go to Major League Baseball. And unless there's anything else you want to add about the NBA, are we good?
It's been great, Jeff. I mean, this has been the best playoffs to spectate and to gamble on in a long, long time. And I think what you're seeing is you're not seeing the players complain about it. You know, where guys are getting banged out there, and I think there was some sort of conversation to say we're going back to physical play for the playoffs, and the guys have bought into it. It's been awesome, and it makes gambling a little bit more like football. You know, defense matters again. You know, you're not Indiana beat up Cleveland, and that's something we haven't seen in a long. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but they knocked those guys around. 2-3 starters were injured, including, I mean, all their studs, Mitchell included. So this is the basketball that we like, and we're going to be locked in on this going through.
All right. Before we talk about Major League Baseball plays and our success, I want to get your take on what do you think about Manfred saying that Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose are now, after the fact, allowed to be in the Hall of Fame? What I'm just curious is your take on that.
It's clearly cruel behavior, right, Jeff? This man just died, right? And his whole life, This has been an issue, and now you're doing this. And Shoeless Joe, I get maybe it's taken a long time to decide for him, but poor Pete. I mean, I don't know. I'm a Phillies guy, so I have a sympathy for Pete Rose. I have a sympathy for gamblers, Jeff. But I know one thing: that dude was a winner. I don't think he would have ever bet against his team or tried to fix it that his team lost. That dude, as competitive as anyone. My lovely wife reminded me yesterday or this morning when we talked about the Hall of Fame. We sat next to Pete Rose in Las Vegas. Guy shows up with a couple of his friends and 3 very gorgeous women, Jeff. I don't know if he was married to them, but these women looked they were an amazingly set up couple, and I think all 3 were with Pete. This guy, amazing dude. To do that to him is horrible. It makes me like baseball a little less today, to be honest with you.
I just hate how, so you wait till you do it after he dies. It's like, this
Oh my
is
God.
awful. This is awful. Like, this guy has basically done, well, he's done everything he can to stay afloat since the baseball just said you're not ever going to get in. And does this open the door for Barry Bonds? Does this, Mark McGuire, like the steroid era guys, like, what are we doing there? I mean, this is interesting.
I agree 100%. I think that has to, right? I mean, those guys, you could argue they were playing under fair conditions. They were all doing it. I mean, I know that hurts the players. Like Ken Griffey Jr., probably not a steroid guy, so that hurt him. But I don't know. I don't know about baseball. I question this pitch clock, Jeff. I don't know why I hate it. The games are too fast. I have trouble. I like the old lazy days take 5.5 hours. You know, now these games are over in an hour and a half. I feel like I watched 3 innings.
I like it. I like the fact that they're speeding up the game. They need to. So let's talk about our plays on baseball, though. How have we been doing? Not too shabby outside checked. What's the update?
I mean, we're hanging in there kind of. We're a couple games over 500. I think baseball right now it's nuts. We're seeing 4 and 5 games a night where you could have 2, 3, 400, giving up 400 to win 100 odds. I mean, there's huge disparity in the league right now. I think you have to tread lightly early in the season with baseball. We're not going to advise people to put up $400 to win 100, even if it's Skeens or even Scooble. I think that's just too much money to risk and put in at risk in this early in the season. Right? It's cold out, right, Jeff? I don't know. I'm cold. It's still cold. It feels like it's winter part 2. We're at 50 degrees here. Enough with damp conditions. How you pitching and hitting in that? I don't know, Jeff. So I think we got to let the guys warm up. I mean, literally, and I think we're going to continue seeing some trends develop. I think we're seeing some frauds early. I still think we bet against them a lot last year, Jeff. Seattle stinks to me. Great pitching. That team can't hit, so I think they come back to earth. And I don't know. New York and Boston, so unpredictable. Tough to bet on those teams.
So we'll continue to talk about Major League Baseball as that season just grinds its way down. But I do want to bring up, before we talk about the Preakness and get into some golf, the schedule, the NFL schedule. We are going to be bludgeoned to death by your freaking Philadelphia Eagles in primetime this year. I swear they're going to have 20 primetime games. But nonetheless, do you track? I mean, how closely do you follow the NFL schedule release?
Well, I mean, with the Birds, they're only leaking Birds games, Jeff. We have phenomenal games coming. We've got a Black Friday game. So 3:00 on a Friday, you have an excuse to go out and hit the bar in Philly. That town's going to blow up on that game. We have a couple Saturday games. I mean, they're taking care of the Philadelphia fans, Chef. I think we deserve it. I wore the hat because I knew you were going to bring this up. I did a little research on this 17-game season because the Birds, I believe we have the fourth hardest strength of schedule going into the season. So we look at this a lot with our season total bets. Generally, there's a lot of data behind a team's strength of schedule and how well they're going to do. So for the Birds, that's tough. I think 11 teams they're playing next season that made the playoffs. But when you look at situationally, I think, the Birds are still positioned pretty well, Jeff. Their odds have gone up to 700 to win the Super Bowl, which tells me maybe that schedule affected that, maybe 10%. So the 17-game schedule is not that fair, though. I think in the old system, everybody played 4 first teams, 4 second teams, 4 third, 4 fourth. And at this point now, the Giants, nobody likes the Giants. This team's done. They have the hardest schedule in the league. They have no quarterback, as we know of, Jeff, that's thrown a pass. For the Eagles fans, it's fantastic. And I'm feeling good about the Birds, especially opening week. Let's put it out there, Jeff. We are taking the Philadelphia Eagles -6.5 over the Dallas Cockroaches, game 1, Thursday night, opening game. That's our first NFL bet, Jeff. 2025 start.
Is 6.5 official?
That's the official line. It's a little insulting, Jeff. I think we're more like a 9-point favorite. Fine. 6.5 at home, Thursday night, opening game. Cockroaches go down. It's not even going to be close, Jeff. We'll talk more about this in the coming days, but
yeah.
Week 1 Super Bowl champions have an incredibly high covering rate and outright winning rate. Where Super Bowl losers week 1 have an incredibly opposite. They have a trend to lose those games and lose outright. So it's something to be said about a little momentum and feeling good,
Absolutely, for sure. And so we will touch on the NFL once we're recording this before the full schedule has been released. We'll talk about primetime games and things like that. We know some international games. The Steelers are playing over in Dublin, so that'll be interesting. We'll talk about that in the coming weeks. But we do want to talk about the Preakness. The second leg of the Triple Crown is coming up. But correct me if I'm wrong. You said this last week. The Derby winner is not in the field, correct?
He is not, Jeff. Well, they pulled him before this, but the jockey got fined $60-some thousand for whipping the horse too much in the win. You're allowed 6 whacks.
Total.
This guy hit him 88 times, Jeff. Now I was watching. Money on. I'd be all for that. I don't know. Maybe that's cruel. I love animals, Jeff, but I think those horses I don't know how hard he's. But 88 whacks. He got fined. He's suspended. I don't think for this race it wouldn't matter, but he's got a Kentucky or Churchill Downs suspension, I believe. So yeah, 88 times. But they won. So
so wait a second. Hold on. 6 times is the amount of times that they get to whip the horse to have him run faster. And he did 88 times in 1 lap.
I believe it used to be in the hundreds, Jeff. So this is an improvement.
My gosh.
I mean, it used to be very violent, and I'm against that. But 88, that's probably not a lot. I bet you there are other guys in the back that are whacking guys more. And that's always been part of the sport to get that horse going a little bit. You figure life changer for that jockey.
Yeah.
Even with his stable will pick up that fine, but you're now a Derby winner, and that gets you on more horses, bigger purses, and that's how these guys operate. Those jockeys probably race 10 to 13 races a day. I mean, it's an incredible athlete that's on that horse. So maybe they deserve to back him.
I didn't even know that there was a regulation on how many times the horse could actually be struck. This is interesting to me. I'm learning something.
Well, they're trying to take care of the horses, Jeff. That's what they claim.
PETA's getting involved.
Well, the stable guys, you can shoot them up with steroids, but not hit them more than 6 times, I guess. Interesting developments with jockeys. A horse that we were heavy on in the Derby, Sandman, who I saw it, Jeff. The jockey came out. He looked like he looked like he was giving up. So we went 17th there, right? He closes to 8th. So this horse was a favorite. I've got him at 4-1 for the Preakness right now. They fired the jockey. This is how important this is. And they're having Johnny Velasquez, Jeff, who's his family, the Velasquez, have made my crew and I the most money of any jockeys in our lives. I mean, this Velasquez is awesome. I think Sandman 4-1 is the horse that is going to win the Preakness. I mean, we're calling a winner. Jeff, you got an outright winner. We usually don't like doing that. We wrap it up in some other mumbo jumbo. But Sandman to win, 4-1. Johnny Velasquez gets it done. It's a small field.
Okay. Now, in terms of the track itself, how do they all what is the difference between the three tracks they run?
This one's much shorter. It's much tighter. This is what Jeff. I was talking with our associate KT Smith. The Preakness is the frat party puking gone wrong situation. It's famous to do disgusting things there. So
Yep.
that's a different kind of gladiator feel. That infield is tight. We've been to it once, and that's a tough race. And horses can have really bad days there. And a lot of times you'll see the Derby winner pull out of this one and then enter into the Belmont, get a little bit more time off too. But tough race. Looks like it's going to be muddy. And in these situations, I always like to go with the jockey. American Promise. He didn't do too hot in the Derby, but a D. Wayne Lucas horse, we like him too at 15-1. This one's tougher to make money. You have the least amount of horses. It's tough down there, Jeff. I don't go to that Preakness anymore. I suggest rubber bottom boots. For no ladies to go in the porta pots, these guys do horrible things. And, makes you want to. It's not a good situation. They tip them over. That's the stupidest thing. It's un-American, Jeff. I'm calling anybody out that's un-American. Okay.
I heard stories in college. A lot of we'll call them cohorts, would go to the Preakness, and they said it was wild, absolutely wild. So I don't know. That's not my cup of tea.
Some sort of mix of that Baltimore lax bro and country boy crowd, Jeff. It's a combination that is just fireworks. These guys are fighting all over. It's like I don't know, like an Eagles kind of Dallas. We get along. I don't even know the type of situation. It's tough. It's exciting. So I'm not going anymore. I'm too old, Jeff.
All right. So I do want to remind everyone before we get to the PGA Championship, which we have a lot to talk about there. I want to remind everyone that when it comes to specific plays, whether it's baseball, basketball, the Preakness, whatever, make sure you check out Pez on his social media handles at Pez's Picks. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. Check him out there for the latest updated lines and leans and all that fun stuff. So let's finish up with some golf, Pez. We've got the second major here, and your Live boys are in the field, and we've got a lot of different options for plays here. I'm curious who you're thinking, because what's funny is that last year you were on the Sepp Straka bandwagon, and boy, that guy's playing good golf this year. He's won 2 times already, coming off the Truist Championship last week. What are you thinking in terms of the odds?
That's Straka. That's a powerful boy right there, Jeff. He's like a European country farm guy, right? That
Austrian.
Guy's tough. Austrian. I mean, tough dude right there. And I heard him interviewed. He said, I think he's from Florida. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know what's going on. I expect him to have some great accent. He sounded like us, so I love him. I don't know. I think Rory's won here 4 times, right, on this course. I believe he's won 4 times.
So has Justin Thomas. So he won the PGA at Quail Hollow as well. Don't discount that.
Should be an awesome tournament. You apparently have every great golfer peaking right now, including Thomas. I think our rationale with golf betting. You got to go big odds. It's like it's too big of a race. I think I see these names. I like Jordan Spieth, 45-1. Long shot here, Jeff. But can't you see the story? This guy completes his Grand Slam.
Career
right?
Grand Slam. He would be it. Yeah.
He was chirping a little bit. When that dude chirps, he had a little chirp to him in the presser, and I think that dude, he could win a major. Like he's crazy with golf. So if his putter's rolling, I love Shane Lowry at 50-1. Tough dude, right? I mean, he's playing, you could argue, top 5 in the world right now. Blows the tournament a little bit, but those Irish guys, that's a tough dude right there. I like him 50-1 and a previous major winner. And my last guy, I don't know. This is a shocker to me. I think they're off on this one. Justin Rose, 90-1. Got to get on that, right? 90-1.
Well, he was sick. He withdrew from the Truist. He was rather ill, he said. He was rather...
Well, which, hey, poor guy, right? I mean, he's, I bet you he's healed though, Jeff, right? 90-1? I don't know. I think that's a nice play. Scheffler and McIlroy are going to be tough to beat. I don't know how
here's what's interesting. And I track these lines every single week. I've had only 1 week in the last, I don't know how many, where I haven't had at least one winner, a bonus play or something hit. This is the first tournament. Now I'm talking a big time tournament, not like going down to Mexico for some schmuck tournament no one cares about. 3 players have better than plus 1,000 odds. Scotty, let me give you the official numbers. This was as of the other day. Scotty is at plus 425. Rory is at plus 500, and Bryson DeChambeau coming in at plus 950. Here's what I don't get. John Rahm is the next best odds at plus 1,800. The hell is John Rahm won? He's not even winning on Live, let alone placing anywhere on the PGA Tour or in majors. I don't understand that line, but there's some plays here to be had. I'll tell you what. This is the Pez special right here. I found this on a sports book the other day, and it is you can bet who is the best lefty in the field. So you take
that's interesting.
all the left-handed players. I think there's like 6 or 8 of them, and you just have to pick who is going to finish the lowest amongst all of them. And I'm taking Akshay, and let me see here. I have his line here. That's a bonus play plus 310 to have Akshay.
I think he's the only guy to win with actual spectacles on the last 40 years too. I mean, I love that guy.
That's true too. I never even thought about that.
What's Mickelson? He's in it. I mean, he's playing, I guess. Right?
He's over plus 600 to be the low lefty.
I think you have to bet that whack job, right? I mean, plus 600
Phil?
for Phil. I like Phil, but he's crazy. So he could go in there and win. Like, what was it? 4 years ago, he goes in and wins like that. It was a Kiowa Island, I think, right?
Yeah, 2021. Phil Mickelson, I think at age 51 or something like that is when he beat Brooks Koepka and won the PGA Championship. It's incredible.
That's like if it was a horse race, a horse that had won the Kentucky Derby 6 times. And you're like, I don't know, maybe still got it in him. So I love getting big odds on guys like that. I don't think there's – Jeff, let me tell you, I was ever involved in answering bets in the days when it wasn't very legal. And somebody called me and said, I want John Rahm at plus 1,800. You didn't get plus 1,800 on anybody. They'd be like, maybe plus 150. Like, what? It says 1,800. They'd be like, you want it or not? Of course, everybody takes it, Jeff. Tiger, you might get at minus like 9 million or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know where these lines come from. I don't know how much speculation or system they can punch into. I think they're trying to entice action, to be honest with you.
Well, this is the first time finally, like Bryson DeChambeau's odds have adjusted the way they should. He's playing good golf. He plays well in the majors. I mean, how much more do we need to see? The guy was in the final pairing in the Masters on Sunday. He wins a U.S. Open last year. He came second at Valhalla to Xander Schauffele in the PGA last year. The guy plays well in big tournaments. He should be plus 950. He really should. But you know who I'm taking? I'm taking Scotty Scheffler. And I know that's not the good odds. You said you got to have the bigger odds, and I understand it. The guy was wearing did you see what he was wearing the other day at a practice round?
I did not.
He had the burnt orange golf shirt on, and everyone's like, he's making fun of his arrest photo from last year at Valhalla. I was like, and he's wearing his player badge around all the time so that everyone knows he's a player.
How could you not bet that guy right now?
Yeah.
I mean, that you can't argue against him and Rory. I mean, either one of them are probably playing better than anybody. I mean, their A games right now. I don't even know if Shambo keep up with their A games at this point. So I think we'll see, Jeff. Maybe a Rory Chef 1-2 parlay winner 1-2. That probably pay out pretty decently, and maybe worth the risk.
Well, here's some bonus plays. I know you like the bonus plays. Scotty or Xander Schauffele to be an outright winner is plus 330. That's a double, and a triple, which I liked. Rory, Justin Thomas, or Shane Lowry plus 220 odds. Not great odds, but still, you got to think if you're betting like the big guns, there's a lot to be had there.
Yeah, that's the typical odds you'd get, Jeff. Nobody used to bet golf because nobody was giving you a chance to put $10 in on anybody and win 4,000 or something. That was like, no way, dude. Like, I saw it in the paper. They'd be like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, we have a different line here. So I get excited. I look at it like a horse bet, and I think this could be the best major of the year. We'll see. With wet conditions, this could be a birdie fest, and I think it's soaked there. So. Live clean in place. I don't know. Is that possible? We'll see.
It could be. It could be early in the tournament.
I think the wetter, the more it behooves the longer player that can stripe an iron, and Shambo he's probably helped in this too, because if you hit in that rough from a short distance, you're screwed.
I'm going to call it too. If you want to, again, you can make these plays, folks. I think it's going to be a playoff. I think there's going to be a playoff in this major. And you can actually bet on that. Will there be a playoff? How many players are in it? I would say that yes, there's a playoff, and it's going to be 3 players. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be an exciting tournament.
That's a good bet to make.
Yeah, why not? What the hell? All right, Pez. Hey, what's your final thoughts here?
Jeff, the Dead released another concert today in San Francisco. $803 a ticket. How's a gambler going to afford to take his wife and his son to San Francisco? $803 ticket in a park. What's up?
Where are they playing in San Francisco?
At that park they used to play free concerts out. Ironically, they've just announced that we almost went to the Sphere, Jeff. Honey, if you can hear me, I told you that was a bad bet. She said, we have to go. It's the last show ever. I said, there's no chance. It's the last show ever. I had that at plus 100, so I won that one, Jeff. Maybe I get a nice dinner tonight or something.
That's awesome. Well, if you're ponying up the $800 per ticket,
no way.
What are the ticket prices at the Sphere?
Anywhere from like 150 to like, you go big bucks, but you get in there kind of reasonably, a couple $100, and it's worth it. That I would do again for sure.
All right, man. Well, it's been a good show. Enjoy all the action. Make sure everyone checks out Pez at Pez's Picks on all social media platforms. But until next week, Pez, take it easy, man.
Later.